This week, we're heading over the Brooklyn Bridge. We're tackling Brooklyn's backstory, tracking down the very first settlement outside of Manhattan. Plus, we forge our way through the neighborhood in search of insane fried chicken mac and cheese and locally crafted brews at the best beer hall in the borough. We check out the cutting-edge chocolatier in Red Hook, who even makes his own cacao rum, and top it all off with decadent donuts stuffed with a completely scrumptious, salty caramel custard.
Dear Lord, Lord help me now.
Then we're hitting the road to test drive a sport that truly rocks. Okay, this is high enough. For real.
Walking around and feeling fine. Sun is shining in my face. Crossing the street, cars are passing by. Thinking how I love this place. Can you feel the wind in your hair? I look out for you, I'll be there. Let's take a stroll down to the park.
Today, Brooklyn's known for its hipster neighborhoods, hot restaurants, and cool music. But what you may not know is just how long it's been making headlines. In the 19th century, it's where the wealthy hung their hats. And in the 18th century, it's where George Washington suffered one of his few defeats. But it was in the 17th century where the very first settlers laid down their roots right here in an area known as Gowanus.
The first settlers would have come into the harbor up around the Gowanus Creek and settled in this area that for a long time was called South Brooklyn, but is now going to be called Red Hook, Gowanus, and really the southern edge of Carroll Gardens. We're here at the 1699 stone house. This is a perfect example of Dutch architecture. Rebuilt in the 1930s, but way back in the 1690s. Dutch had already been here for more than 50 years. Everything to our west was swamp and stream, and everything to our east was Dutch farmland. Absolutely incredible.
This house also played a dramatic role during the Revolutionary War. In fact, it's a centerpiece of one of Washington's most famous battles, the Battle of Long Island, also known as the Battle of Brooklyn.
256 of the 400 Maryland troops died here, defending George Washington, holding back the British so Washington could continue on to Brooklyn Heights, across the East River, and up Manhattan to battle another day. The Maryland troops were financed by Charles Carroll, and he was from Maryland, a wealthy financier, and he was also the only Catholic to sign the Declaration of Independence. And when he died in 1832, he was the last of the signers to pass away. He was the last one. Charles Carroll is responsible for the naming of a lot of things in this neighborhood. You've got the neighborhood of Carroll Gardens, you've got Carroll Street, and you've got where we're standing right now, the 1889 Carroll Street Bridge, one of 5 bridges that crossed the Gowanus Canal. And this one, built 1889, is the oldest.
And therefore landmarked.
And therefore landmarked.
The Gowanus Canal is a mile long and was formerly dredged in the mid-19th century to allow for container ships to dock right alongside the warehouses that were being built. And in turn, this area became the industrial heart of both Brooklyn and of Greater New York. While we can't actually travel back in time to see what life was like in Brooklyn's industrial era, if we head to DeGraw Street, we can actually get a feel for what life was like in the 1930s. Billed as a Southern cafe, the decor of Sadie's Kitchen will immediately transport you to the South. With a few stools and a handful of tables, this cozy spot welcomes you with comfort food times 10. If you dig insane mac and cheese, step inside. Behind the line, you will find owner Peter Sibilia, who made a name for himself designing major clubs and restaurants in the city. So opening up his own spot seemed like the natural next step. Sibilia is a creative genius, and the menu here will knock your socks off. All the dishes are comprised of an entire pound of pasta alone, and have campy names like Miss Elba's Voodoo and the one I'm dying to try, Miss Fifi.
That's the Gruyere cheese.
Gruyere cheese.
Truffles, bacon, Emmental, and Fontina.
Oh my God.
You're funny.
Oh
Good.
my God. That's not dietetic.
Well,
No, not at all.
What is this? If you
Okay.
describe it, I'm gonna eat it. 'cause
This
I'm-
is the fried chicken. Fried chicken, hot sauce, gorgonzola, bourbon. It's just an amalgamation of everything but the kitchen sink.
You're like a crazy culinary genius.
Yeah, that's just.
Here we go.
Well, that's definitely crazy.
It's fried chicken in my mac and cheese. My cameraman's gonna go crazy when I let him have some. Last but not least, drum roll, please.
That's the lobster. That's the Leona's mac and cheese.
Did I ever tell you that?
Oh, I love you too.
You guys, check it out. DeGraw and Third, right?
Correct.
No, Dry and Clinton.
DeGraw and Clinton.
You guys gotta check it out. Sadie's Kitchen, DeGraw and Clinton. This is a must-do, people.
Now, if we peel back another layer and head back in time to the mid-19th century, that's when we experienced Brooklyn's first major growth period as a massive wave of European immigrants arrived. By the end of the 19th century, nearly 1 million people lived in Brooklyn. A third of them were immigrants, many from Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Poland, making Brooklyn the third largest city in the country. Back then, the area was also filled with beer halls where Eastern European immigrants would congregate. Now, they may all be long gone, but Brooklyn still loves its brew. Local 61 opened in 2011 and has already been named Best Beer Hall by the New York Times. Most everything in this place is made in Brooklyn. The food, the light fixtures, even the knives are borough-born. And yes, they also have a well-rounded regional beer list that includes some amazing hyper-local craft brews.
I think I need to try a flight of beers.
I think you should.
I think I have to. What kind of reporter would I be, Chris, if I didn't
know.
do the research? This was from Brooklyn Soda Works.
Yes, that's the apple ginger soda.
Okay. There's no alcohol in this, right?
Nope.
No alcohol in this one.
Non-alcoholic, but delicious.
Oh my goodness, that is good.
Yeah, really awesome. And we serve that hot as well. It makes a really
Wow, that
killer
is good.
cider.
The ginger is like
Bright.
very bright.
Yeah.
For not having any alcohol in it, it's very,
It's a good place to start.
Good.
It's a good place to
mixer,
start.
good mixer. And then this is the,
Green Room Pale Ale from Barrier Brewery,
and where's Barrier Brewery?
Oceanside.
Oh, I like that.
So this is the Allagash Black, and this one is going to be a little bit heavier bodied than what you've been drinking.
What makes the beer black? Tell the novice in the house.
Oftentimes it depends on the kind of malts they use, which will give it a different color. Also, it depends if you're adding something special, like we brewed a beer last night with cocoa and lavender, so of course that will affect the color a little bit. But primarily it's the malts that goes into it, the different barley grains.
Oh, that's good.
So if you need a reason to saddle up to the bar, try the brew, and sample the small plates. This joint sources all ingredients locally and makes them in-house.
I know you guys are local, but you don't have to be from the neighborhood to come here, right?
Definitely not. We've got nice communal seating, nice open tables, very airy. So we're like an indoor beer garden.
Coming up, Willy Wonka, watch out. We meet one mad chocolate chemist who takes cacao to a whole new level. Plus, ever had pasta in the nude? Well, then feast your eyes on this. And it's our pop-up New York quiz with my mini-me, Megan Brower.
Hey Tone, today we're blowing the lid off of New York's industrial past. This building was built in 1865 and was used to produce something found in everybody's pantry. Today it's home to performance artists and an underground music festival. Where am I? Stay tuned.